Everyone, it's Froggy, and I'm back again with another episode of Hakuoki Kyoto Wins. So let's continue on with this scene. The look in his eyes was soft.
君は自分のことで手一杯なくせに人の痛みを察してしまうんですね。私はいい大人なのですから、体調を崩して苦しんだとしても、それは自己責任なんですよ。
Well, that may be true, but that doesn't mean that I'm not still worried about you. I clenched my fists, raised my chin, and stared. He was trying to pacify me, but I wouldn't let him. His face grew more troubled, and a sigh spilled from his lips.
私は雪村くんの優しさが時として心配になります。私でしたら大丈夫ですよ。どうか安心してください。
The tone of his voice indicated that he'd said the final word. It was pointless to argue anymore. Okay. Reluctantly, I nodded, and he stepped back, breaking off our eye contact. He smiled mysteriously and chuckled under his breath.
今夜は君につられて優しくなりすぎました。
What does that mean? His chuckle bubbled up into a full laugh. His words, when he spoke, were deliberately evasive.
他人に情が移ってしまえば何かと困るものですからね。今度こそおやすみなさい。良い夢が見られますよ。
Oh. He swiftly walked off before I could stop him. I didn't know what to think. If I hadn't spent enough time with him to accurately see his true face behind the slippery words he liked to use. But I think I can trust him. Some of the things that he said and did frightened me more than I wanted to admit. But he was a good, kind person at heart. I wanted to believe that, so I decided to hold on to my faith in him, and not doubt the course of action that he chose to follow. I should have been thinking about what dangers the future held in store for us, but instead I felt calm. December 1867. Scarcely a month had passed since Aburano Koji. Saito and Haiseki had returned, but the Shinsengumi was hardly back to normal. A dark, tense atmosphere pervaded the compound. Many men had lost their lives in Kazuma's attacks. Even more had been injured during the attack at Aburano Koji. Among them was Haiseki. Several of the rank-and-file soldiers had seen him mortally wounded. He had looked as if he would not survive. And for that reason, Haiseki was declared officially dead and made a member of the Fury Corps. Haiseki Tudo. He survived the Aburano Koji incident by becoming a Fury and rejoined the Shinsengumi. The official record showed him as deceased. Saito hadn't been wounded, but many among the common soldiers began to call him a coward. To them, he had left the Shinsengumi to join Itsu, then betrayed his new master when he sensed a change in fortunes. I saw no reason why he shouldn't set them straight, and say that he had never truly left the Shinsengumi, but he claimed he would rather stay silent than tarnish the honor of the commander and the chief who had ordered his actions. As such, it was decided that Saito would leave the compound until tempers had been allowed to cool. He was sent to stay at Tenma in order to protect Kyutaro Miura, an official of the Kishu domain. Saito guarded Kyutaro Miura of the Kishu domain by using this inn as a hiding place. The night of the battle at the Aburano Koji was a turning point for the Shinsengumi. For the men who didn't know the details, it was simply a battle against their former comrades, the guardians of the Imperial Tomb. Those better formed knew the situation with the Satsuma and the Chosu domains had changed, and Ryoma Sakamoto's hit was part of a big plan. Only the heads of the Shinsengumi knew the whole story, the activities of the demons, and Haisuki's transformation into a fury. They were also the only ones who knew that Okita's illness had gotten worse. Such an important battle had stirred up the atmosphere in the compound, and for several days. There were excited men everywhere, shouting and talking. Moments of silence were quite rare. I felt I would only be in the way if I was wandering around the grounds, so I did my best to stay in my room by myself.
部屋にいてくれましたか。
Sanan walked into my room without saying anything.
助かりますよ。昼間外に出られると探しに行けませんからね。
You seem desperate to find me. Sanan, but it's daytime. Are you sure you're all right?
ええ。とてもいい考えが浮かんだもので、一刻も早く君に知らせたくて。
His eyes glittered with something, and even though he was smiling, I could feel the fingers of dread begin to poke at the base of my spine. Why me? Wouldn't you want to tell Kondo or Hijikata instead?
君でなければダメなのです。私の考えを聞いていただけますね。
Although he asked in the form of a question, his choice of words made it seem far from letting me make a choice. Sanan started to talk without waiting for my answer.
雪村君、あなたは鬼の一族だと、あの千姫という女性が言っていましたね。そして、鬼という生き物は、筋力も胆力も人間よりはるかに優れている。それは、先日、豚書を襲撃した鬼たちの力を思い起こすまでもないことです。
Well, I understand that, but what was Sanan trying to get at? My heart started to pound, anticipating bad news.
人をはるかに凌駕する力を持つ鬼。その鬼の体に流れる血は、やはり人の血よりも強い力を持っているのではないでしょうか。あるいは、羅刹の狂気を完全に抑える力があるかもしれません。
You want to bleed me for them? I didn't know how the water of life worked, but Sanan's explanation seemed logical, even if it was a bit manic. How can you know that for sure?
自らが羅刹となる前から、そして羅刹となってからも、この新選組で薬についてずっと研究をしてきたのは私です。落ち水の正体が一体何であるのかは私にも未だにわかりませんが、生き血ではないかと推測しています。おそらく人ではない何者かの。もしかすると異国にもあなた方鬼のような生き物がいるのかもしれませんね。
So, Sanan drew closer to me without making a sound.
少なくとも試してみる価値はあるはずです。あなたの存在で我々羅刹隊、いや新選組隊士全員を救うことができるのかもしれないのですよ。
Wait. Sanan's eyes had grown painfully sharp, and I almost thought that I could hear the barest edge of madness in his voice.
さあ、
Uh-oh. We don't like that. We don't like that at all. Calmly, he drew his sword from its scabbard. There was no madness or bloodlust to his movements, and that only made them all the more terrifying.
怖がる必要はありませんよ。あなたを殺すつもりはありません。ただほんの少し、その血を分けてもらえるだけで良いのです。
I took a step back. Sanan and his sword came closer. He lifted it and the steel blade shimmered in the light. And then all of a sudden, just then...
おい、サンナンさん、何してやがる!
Hijikata had burst into the room. Then...
これ一体どういうことだ? あんたともあろう人が豚書の中で刀を抜くなんざ気でも触れたか?
Hijikata.
ああ、土方くん、ちょうどよかった。君も手伝ってくれませんか。我々に協力してもらえるよう 何としても彼女を説得しなくては。
With calm purpose, he stepped between Sanan and me.
刀を収めてくれ。私の闘争を許さず、たとえ幹部だろうと、局中ハットは絶対だろう。
Sanan glared at Hichikata begrudgingly for several moments, but he soon turned away and sheathed his sword.
で、一体何があったんだ？雪村が何かやらかしたのか？
タイのため、羅刹の狂気を抑える方法を探っていたのです。
そのためにこいつを切ろうとしてたってことか。
殺すつもりはありませんよ。血を分けてもらおうと思っただけです。先日の戦いで我々は多くの羅刹を失いました。羅刹ではない一般の大使も同じく。今いる羅刹やこれから羅刹となるものをより有効に活用するには、何としても狂気を抑える術を見出しておかなくてはなりません。聡明な君ならば理解できると思いますが。
さっきも言ったじゃねえか。新選組において死闘は厳禁だ。どんな理由があろうと大使同士の流血沙汰なんざ許すわけにはいかねえ。
雪村君は大使ではありませんが。
大使じゃねえがずっとここにいるんだ。似たようなもんだろうが。
They continued to stare for a while, neither willing to budge on the matter at hand. Sanan sighed.
相変わらず君は優しすぎますね。ですが覚えておいてください。もしこのまま落ち水の副作用を抑える術が見つからなければ、新たに羅刹となった東堂君も血に狂って苦しむこととなるのですよ。
Only after I'd heard his footsteps fade away down the hall did I begin to breathe again.
大丈夫だったか？
Oh, yes. Thank you for helping me.
礼には及ばねえ。ほら、三男さんに大気を守らせただけだ。前は俺にあんなことを言わせるような人じゃなかったんだがな。
I looked down. It's true. Sanan had been acting strangely lately. He would have never drawn his sword as aggressively as he just did before he drank the serum. I'm sorry.
どうしたいきなり。お前が詫びることじゃねえだろうが。
Well, the reason why Sanan was acting the way he did in the first place was because Kazuma destroyed the Fury Corps. After I said that, Hichikata paused and reflected to himself before responding.
お前、何か勘違いしてねえか？
Huh?
あいつらは薩長の一味。つまり、俺たちの敵ってことだ。敵が来たら、視力を尽くして戦うのは当たり前だろうが。
He spoke with so much conviction, but it's none of your responsibilities to protect me.
じゃあなんだ？あいつらの方が俺たちより強いから、お前を奴らに差し出して命乞いするべきだってのか？そんなな武士のやり方じゃねえ。少なくとも俺たちは一度決めたことをてめえの都合でコロコロ覆すような、そんな腰抜け連中を目指してるつもりはねえんだ。
Fair. Nijikata was so confident with what he was saying, that I felt that there was no real contention to his claim. Even if he wouldn't say as much, I'm sure he knows that kicking me out of the Shinsengumi would make their lives so much easier. But if they did that, it would be a violation of the values they pride themselves on upholding. I'm sorry if what I said was out of line.
詫びる必要はねえって言ってんだろうが。何度も同じことを言わせるな。
Oh, he's blushing. What a sweetie. Ichikata said this timidly, muttering under his breath before looking down in my direction.
もしまた今日みてえなことがあったら、遠慮せずに俺に言え。山崎や島田を通して伝えてくれてもいい。
Alright, understood. Ichikata nodded and turned to leave, but I realized I had one thing left to say.
なんだ？ まだ何かあるのか？
There were so many warriors who were injured as a result of the attack on the compounds. Saito hadn't been present for long recently, and Kondo was occupied with his meetings with Bakushin. Similarly, I had a feeling that Hijikata was feeling the pressure of all of his duties lately. I wished that I could be helping him in some capacity, but I might get in their way.
おい、どうした？黙っててもわからねえぞ。
I want to help? I'll stay here. I will stay here. I'll stay out of your way. Nothing. I'm sorry for stopping you.
なんだ？度忘れしちまったのか？まあいい。そんじゃ俺は部屋に戻らせてもらうからな。
Okay. I watched his back disappear through the door, leaving me alone in my room again. As much as I wanted to be helpful for everyone, if I recklessly walk around the compounds, and things like earlier happened, it wouldn't be good. Maybe it's just better that I don't do anything. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos from me, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.